Hello, Stylers. I hope you are doing well. I think the whole of the internet is now aware that Infinity Nikki's 1.5 update did not go as planned, from bugs, girl caught, and even a platform of players that struggle to access the games. Unfortunately, it was a disaster. However, the team have generally remained silent until now, as this morning we have had another announcement and I'm going to discuss it with you today. Don't forget to like and also subscribe for more content, but let's get into the video. So before we get into the team's apology, I just really quickly want to go over my feelings of the 1.5 update really quickly and everything that kind of happened. Firstly, you may be wondering why I didn't cover all the problems on the channel and make a dedicated video. I did discuss it on stream and we very openly talk about it in my Discord as well, but I did decide not to make a video covering the 1.5 update issues, mainly for a time reason. I would have loved to have discussed it all with you and gone over all of my feelings. However, I do still work full-time alongside this channel, and when the update was going on, I was super busy, and honestly, it was very stressful trying to get all of the issues lined up because there were just so many. So instead of kind of trying to sacrifice my mental health, I decided not to discuss it on the channel in a dedicated video. That being said, I still do fully support everything, and as I say, we do discuss it in my Discord frequently. By the time I had finally got my head around everything and got my matters straight, I started to kind of draft an intro, but so many other creators had kind of covered everything and they had done it so eloquently and in a really good fashion, a lot better than I could have. I, of course, agree with everything that the community has been asking for, and I am just as passionate about this game as the community is, and I really do want it to succeed. However, as we have seen, serious changes do need to be made going forward, such as removing fake sales from the premium shop, better communication, and improved testing prior to updates. Honestly, I could write a whole list of things that need to be changed, but this is kind of my key points for now. I am still part of the Infinity Nikki content creator program, and at this time I do not plan on leaving, but please do not be under any illusion that the compensation is not always great, and it is definitely not enough to do hundreds of pulls. As a result of that, I have spent a lot of money in the game also, so I am not only invested on a community front, but also on a financial one too. One of the things that remaining part of the Infinity Nikki content creator program does allow me to do is give feedback from my community, and before the whole 1.5 debacle happened, this is something that I was doing from my members within my Discord, and I was giving back what they had to say as well. So this is something that I will 100% continue to do so that we can hopefully all experience the best of Infinity Nikki, and hopefully we will never see this again. So there's my kind of feelings. Let's see if this kind of apology addresses a lot of these things and hopefully will put a lot of players at ease. It says, first and foremost, we sincerely thank you for your unwavering support and love for Infinity Nikki. Since the launch of 1.5, insufficient preparation during pre-release testing led to unexpected live issues, resulting in an unstable game environment and unsatisfactory content. There is kind of no disputing this. This is very kind of accurate with all of the bugs that we encountered, issues with the co-op not working as intended, and as I mentioned earlier, people even accessing the game. We fully acknowledge that this is our responsibility, and addressing these shortcomings remains a top priority for our team moving forward. Additionally, we encountered technical challenges during development that require more time to resolve thoroughly. Following rigorous assessment, we decided to extend version 1.5's end date to ensure greater stability and prevent similar issues from reoccurring. So the decision to actually extend the season, this is kind of very interesting. I can see why they've done it, and obviously it benefits them. It gives them more time to work on things, to fix things before they go and add new content on top of what may cause further issues down the line. So I am glad that they are taking that time. I do think maybe this might benefit some players as well. If you haven't had chance to play, then perhaps there are things you've missed out on. For me, the soiree being like 2 hours a day, that is a huge problem. I think I've managed to do it twice just because I cannot log on or I forget to log on at the certain time period. So at least it will give me time to kind of fully complete that, which does need to change. Also, I wonder if they will mention that further down. However, it is still disheartening to see that it could take a while for this to happen. It does then go on, we're acutely aware that these recent issues have impacted your experience and damaged the trust and affection you've placed in us. To all stylists, we offer our deepest apologies. Through this notice, we can aim to clarify delay arrangements, compensation plan, and key optimization priorities. So the extension, it says the bubble season will be extended until June 12th, and then also 1.6 will also launch on June 12th as well. So the maintenance schedule of version 1.6 may be adjusted depending on the actual conditions. So they have added a little bit of a caveat there. And then they've gone over all of the things that will end with that. So the heartfelt gifts, all of the bubble market, everything associated with that. And then we want to scroll down onto the weekly tasks, Starlit Pursuit delay notice. So after the 1.5 update, we received extension feedback on co-op features and gameplay. Based on this, we are optimizing related systems, and the new weekly task, originally scheduled for May 20th, will now debut in 1.6. This delay allows us to refine task mechanics for smoother experience. Additional details will be announced at a later date, so please stay tuned on that. And then they've said, in light of this change, 360 Starlight Crystals will be given to all players as compensation. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to every stylist for your understanding and continued support. So this looks like it is kind of in direct response to like the co-op problems that were going on. I have only actually successfully got into co-op once, I believe, and sometimes it wasn't great. So I do think that they definitely need to do a lot more work on it. It's quite clear that they did kind of rush out the co-op mode, unfortunately. But really, I am kind of still hopeful for it. I do hope that there is improvements with it, and fingers crossed down the line, they will make it a better playing experience. So then it goes on to say, throughout the development journey since launch, we faced a multitude of challenges and uncertainties, from optimizing performance across diverse devices with varying capabilities to tackling unexpected technical roadblocks. Many of these hurdles were unprecedented for our team. Rather than offering premature communication, we chose to tackle these problems methodically, responding to your expectations only once we had secured concrete solutions. So I think that what maybe they're trying to get at here is, obviously they've had feedback, and maybe they are just trying to wait on the fact that they haven't kind of given out any form of communication or apology. They wanted to get like their eggs in a row, which I understand. I do understand. Okay, and then they go on to talk about the retcon, and they say the Threads of Reunion storyline's absence in this version was never intended as a removal from Infinity Nikki's narrative. Its associated outfit remains on the development roadmap, but due to technical hurdles in version 1.5, we were unable to properly refine the introduction of the Sea of Stars chapter and the narrative setup for the Threads of Reunion, which regrettably led to confusion. Oh, this is really odd. Okay, I don't really understand this fully. It's confusing, I would say. I think what they're trying to say is that they didn't want to remove the Threads of Reunion storyline, which is the main intro to the game, where Nikki is looking in the wardrobe and then she sees the miracle outfit, and obviously Momo's there as well. That they want to remain as the main intro. However, they couldn't get that to fit with the Sea of Stars chapter, which is odd. I think there is so many different ways that they could have done it, like having it as like a separate area, like a separate chapter where you just enter into it. Call me cynical, but I do feel like that there must have been workarounds from this. And also the key thing here is, if this wasn't their intentions, why did they not communicate that with the player base? Why did they not say that this will be like a temporary intro to the game? Because then players might have been more understanding about that and not so upset that there potentially is this huge lore that just has been wiped from the game. So it does look like they are still working on it, so fingers crossed. Hopefully we will see the old introduction back again. Plans are underway to expand tiered cumulative top-up rewards in upcoming versions. New gameplay systems will undergo rigorous design scrutiny to ensure seamless integration into an open-world experience and lore consistency. One thing that does confuse me, you have a very passionate community. You have lots of people that will want to play test and want to give your feedback on it. They have perfect guides, they have content creator program. Like, tap into that, use that. People will do this for free just because they care about the game, they want it to succeed. So if they are struggling for people to do that and give honest feedback, you have a whole plethora of people that have clearly obviously displayed their feelings on the game already as well. So yeah, I don't understand why this wasn't done sooner, but I really do hope that in the future those playtests will kind of rule out or iron out any of those issues, major issues that we saw. And then on top of that, it talks about adaptive performance and stability issues across various platforms, including the PlayStation. I've spoken about that. We know the PlayStation was a problem, and they've obviously been identified and they're working on them. There are also unlisted adjustments under discussion. Some changes require extended development cycles, but we commit to implementing them through the phased updates. We will share progress once plans solidify and milestones are reached. In the meantime, we humbly ask for your continued patience and trust. So that sounds like they've still got major things to work on, and I really do hope they keep us updated. We fully recognise that our current communication efforts may not meet every stylist's expectations. To address this, we are launching a new initiative, the Mirrorland Roundtable, to openly address player concerns and collaboratively explore solutions. We sincerely invite all stylists to share your feedback and suggestions through the following dedicated channels. Yes, the communication has been a huge problem. It's been absolutely ages since we first got that apology, and honestly, I was starting to think it wouldn't come, and I think a lot of the community were thinking that as well. Are they just going to put their head in the sand and just continue on? So I'm glad we have got something. I really do hope that they find a better way to be more open and transparent. And it's not even about the frequency that they are updating players as well. I do feel like sometimes their messages are not the clearest, like the way that they are writing them, they're not always like open and clear and easy to understand for everyone. So I do feel like maybe having another set of eyes on the kind of announcements they put out might be of use as well. I don't know whether it's the way that they write things or whether it's the fact that the majority of things are just done through Twitter posts, which I don't find the easiest to read. I don't know how you feel about that. Is there anything that you would like asking as a community? If you were to have like a better way of communication, which ways would you like it? Because it is something that a lot of, I feel like, live service games often do get criticized for, particularly like things like Palia. They were heavily criticized, but a lot of that was just due to silence, really. But the best method to do it, because a lot of Palia's communication is via the Discord, whereas I don't really see a lot of that. I don't have my notifications on for the Infinity Nikki Discord. My main source is Twitter. So yeah, basically, how do you prefer to get your updates on games? So then it does go over the different kind of methods that you can leave information, you can leave feedback on. Obviously, they do have the surveys as well. So if you are wanting to give some feedback, if you are wanting to do that, then by all means, have a look at those options there. And then it goes on to say your candid feedback, both critical and encouraging, has prompted deep reflection. I will say the community has been very good. I feel like yes, there may be occasions where people have taken things too far and being too critical. The majority of things has been due to constructive criticism, which I think is obviously the better way to go. There is no point being out here like shouting and screaming at each other, because that definitely does not fix things. So drafting this message says mixed emotion, guilt over delayed promises, yet gratitude for your unwavering support. As compensation for version 1.5 shortcomings and the schedule changes, all stylists will receive 120 diamonds, 1 energy crystal every day from the 5th of June to the 12th of June, totaling 960, and energy crystal 8. Oh, whoa. Okay, so it's 120 diamonds per day. Okay, that is significant. That might be one of the biggest kind of compensations we have seen. To be honest, I think that they should have gone that high. I think that is definitely something that players do deserve after everything that we have kind of gone through. Is it going to solve everything? Probably not. I am slightly concerned about this. So that is everything that they've kind of addressed in this. There are obviously huge things missing from this apology, which is very sad. So they haven't spoken about the 220 pity not being lowered. I can see why they haven't addressed that, because they did address it in the previous thing, saying that going forward they're not gonna make any outfits more than 11 pieces, which I do think is still very high. I know there's people out there that will be like, Shining Nikki has 16 or whatever, and that is insane as well, in my opinion. I don't know how they would lower it now. Like, I don't know what they could do, because they can't just remove like the socks from the outfit, because people have already bought that and people have done that. I'm not sure how they would do that. Do I think it should remain lower than 11? Yes, I do. But perhaps that is why they haven't addressed it here. There's no address on like the feedback about the dyeing system in this, and maybe we will get that in a bigger kind of deep dive into like everything that's happened in 1.5. I think changes obviously need to be made to that. Firstly, I think you should be able to unlock the color palette for a whole outfit and everything kind of associated with that, not just the individual pieces, or even just unlocking the whole color palette itself, making the more expensive or take more resources to unlock a whole color palette would have just been a lot better way to do it, in my opinion. And I think that's the way a lot of people thought that it would work. I really wanted the dyeing system to be associated with Stoneville. I'm very upset that it's not, and it would have made sense for me with the lore of the game for it to be associated with that. Also, I know a lot of people wanted like materials to factor into that somehow, and I wish they had. Going from the bulklet system and how that looked, I really thought that that is how the dyeing system was going to be going forward in this update, but it's not, so that's sad as well. And then the mirror crown changes, they aren't going to talk about them here, because that obviously is something that they did address in the last one, and they've already given kind of a solution to that. So I do think that that's maybe why they haven't spoken about that here. I'm not trying to defend them at all, because I do think that they should obviously address these concerns clearly and maybe put like a big summary out of everything that they're doing and going to do. Putting like a Twitter post with like a few hundred words is not enough to kind of cover everything's that's gone on and everyone's concerns, because there was a whole lot more of that. There isn't also anything really about the kind of shop things and the criticisms that they've received for the purchases in the shop either. So yeah, I also think one thing that they could have easily changed with this is extending the soiree time. They could have just put that in here and said, this is what we're going to be doing today. I know they've been waiting for feedback from players, but this was something that was quite obviously going to cause problems. So if they had just done this, I think that would have made me feel a bit better about the whole thing. So I do appreciate the sentiment of this post. Do I think it's sufficient? No. I also think time will tell to see if they are going to kind of live up to this. Communication really is going to be clear and really listening to that feedback. I know they have been listening to feedback in the past, so I really, really do hope that this continues. But obviously at present, Infinity Nikki is in a bit of a crisis and they're trying to manage this as best they can. So I think it may need a little bit more time to kind of cook and give them their chance to kind of get everything done, because this is going to take a lot of time to fix and it's not going to be a quick one, unfortunately. They also did release the snapshot of the 4-star 1.5 banners today, which in my opinion was a little bit of bad timing. They could have probably waited until tomorrow to post these. If you're publishing an apology, it's probably not the most sensible thing to do straight after, to kind of publish banners where people are going to obviously spend potentially their real life money on them. I do really like the outfits, but I don't really want to kind of go too deep into them. So just here's a little bit of a snapshot at them. Yes, they're gorgeous. Yes, I do have some diamonds saved to purchase them. But I don't want to give them like a huge spotlight today. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know what your feelings are. Do you think that this is going to kind of fix some of the problems that you were worried about personally? And most importantly, are you still playing at the moment, or have you taken a bit of a break? Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.